Hey everyone, welcome to my office. So this is where I create the concepts behind all my videos you see. I can't wait to show you around. Come inside. So I want to start here. This is my current reading section. So when I'm reading a book, it's on this table, and then when I'm finished with it and done with it, I put it on the bookshelf, which you'll see a bit later, and then I bring over another book. So right now, as you can see, I've been reading Factfulness. If you're down about where the world's at, the statistics in this book will blow your mind about how positive things actually are. So right now, I've been reading a lot. I try and read in themes so that I can get deep knowledge and insight onto a subject, especially if I'm speaking about it through videos. And right now, I've been focusing a lot on the truth about marijuana, mental illness, and depression and drugs. So Dope Sick and Tell Your Children have been two books that I've been reading right now. Just like I said, to understand how mental health is being affected, why depression is increasing, and how I can create content that can really support and help that. And I've got a couple of my awards here as well. So we've got the Best Speaker 2018 at Mind Valley, and my first time being nominated for a Shorty Awards and winning the Best Health and Wellness category. So now I want to bring you over to my gallery wall. This is probably one of my favorite things in my home. So I want to start off by telling you about why some of these people are so inspirational to me. So as you can see, we have a lot of Einstein pieces on the wall, and I have this beautiful work of art, Love is the Answer, as well. Now, Albert Einstein is probably one of my biggest inspirations in life because I think he was one of those unique individuals that could bring together science and spirituality, which I'm such a fan of. I really see that intersection is the most powerful for improving human potential and for genuine happiness and health. And then we have my YouTube play button for the 100,000 subscriber mark. And because of all of you, we also have my 1,000,000 subscriber button on YouTube, which we received in January 2019. So as you can see, we have a lot of world leaders on this wall that are big inspirations to me. So we have Nelson Mandela, we have a quote from Gandhi, and then we have the most incredible speech, in my opinion, ever written or spoken by Martin Luther King, the I Have a Dream speech. And it's so deeply meaningful to me because I truly believe we need a world where we don't judge people by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And so this speech means so much to me. So often when I'm writing or creating, I'll look at this and see how it can inspire me and see how it has an effect on me. So now I want to tell you about two people that are on my wall that when people walk in are usually confused by and wondering why I have them on my wall. But I'll explain why they're here. And they are Eminem and Tupac. Now, I grew up listening to their music and I was always blown away by their obsession with language and wordplay and how they could express emotion through language and wordplay and music. And when you're watching my videos, I'm hoping that you find that there's an undertone of music, poetry, spoken word, and lazy rhyme, because I used to do spoken word and rap growing up. And finally, we have the one and only Steve Jobs. Now, Steve Jobs has been a big influence and inspiration in my life, even though I never ever met him. And it just shows you how you can feel mentored by someone you've never met. I don't believe that anyone on my wall is perfect. I don't believe anyone on my wall has had a perfect life with perfect decisions. But what I do know is that we can learn from everyone. And the reason I have this wall is often when I'm going through a challenge or a question, a dilemma, I can look to this wall and think, what would they have done? Or if I'm going through a failure or a rejection, I think, well, how many rejections and failures did that person go through? So these aren't just quotes on walls and people on walls. I've researched their lives to understand how they thought, how they dealt with different challenges, and that can inspire me in my own. So this is my desk. This is where I've scripted 99% of my work and videos since I moved to LA. I have this beautiful view to look out onto, and I have a few items on my desk that I want to walk you through. So of course I have my laptop where I do my scripting, and my microphone and my recorder for podcasts or audio voiceovers. But there are these three items that mean a lot to me that I keep on my desk as reminders. And what I love about this is we can design our space by sights and sounds. So I have this clock here, but this clock doesn't work. It will never move. It's set to a time and it won't change, and I don't want it to work. So the reason is, one of the things I realized when I started creating is that I preferred creating without time pressure. When I started to create because I thought I had 1 hour left to script, or I had 30 minutes to script, or I had 5 minutes to script, what it did, it started to squash my creativity, and then what comes out was pressure. See, when you're feeling pressure, when you're squeezed, all that comes out is pressure. The other thing I have is this compass. Now, I always talk a lot about refining intentions, focusing on your true north, focusing on your mission and your purpose. This compass reminds me of that. My internal compass has to remain about serving humanity, helping people, creating content that will make a difference in people's lives. And so that compass reminds me of that. And then the third thing that I have is I have this hourglass, and what it allows me to do is if I get distracted or if I want to entertain a thought, I simply turn it and I think about it for that much time and then I turn it again. So if I'm getting distracted or I need a bit of a moment to take a break, then I use that as a way of getting back to what I want to do as well. So one of my favorite areas of my office is my bookshelf. Now, when I lived as a monk, we had a lot of reverence towards books. So you would bow down to books. You would never wear shoes around books. See, books are sacred and books are considered to be high wisdom, and therefore we respect and revere books in tradition. So here are some of my favorite books that I've collected over the years. This is nowhere near the collection. I have suitcases full of books that I can't wait to have a big library one day. So one of my favorite authors is Daniel Kahneman, and this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, is without a doubt one of my favorite books. So in this book, Daniel Kahneman talks about something called System 1 and System 2. System 1 is your instant, immediate, instinctual response to something. It's your uncontrolled response. And then System 2 is your thought out, your long-term response. So take a look at this girl and think about what are the first things that come to your mind. Now that response from her, that face, gives you an immediate response to yourself of how you feel, right? You may feel anger, you may feel like scared or fearful of what she's going to say. That's your System 1. Another book I wanted to point out is this book called Rethink. It's a surprising history of new ideas, and in this book it talks about how any of the new ideas that we think we have today are usually based in ancient times, or we've thought about it before. And there's a beautiful thought from Martin Luther King where he said, if you want a new idea, read an old book. And this book really goes into that. That's a cool book too. I mean, I've got so many I could go through, but I want to pick up one more. It's called the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita is this timeless epic of wisdom, and I want to read one verse to you if I can find it here. Yes, here we go. So this is one of my favorite verses. Full attention. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the person who strives to satisfy such desires. Mind blown, right? So anyway, that's my bookshelf. Got a few awards that I wanted to point out. Big thank you to Anoki, big thank you to Asian Awards, big thank you to the Asian Media Awards, which was the first award I ever won in 2016. And then a big shout out to the Streamy Awards that gave me the Best Health and Wellness Creator of 2018. Really grateful for all the recognition, because it recognizing that we're making wisdom go viral, right? It's not about me, it's about the fact that we're making and building a community that can make rapid change in the world. So I really hope you enjoyed that episode. I really hope you're gonna subscribe to the channel. And I'm hoping that you gained a deeper insight into how I think, how I live, and how I work. And one of the things I wanted you to notice is that everything's highly intentional. Everything's been curated and selected. And when you design your life in that way, you can start being aware of the triggers in your life and how to feel more motivated, more driven, and more focused at different times of your day. Anyway, if you're ever around, you can always borrow a book, but remember, you can't keep it, right? I'm precious about them. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you soon.